in those each relationship, you learn something, you take away something. And I've learned, more importantly, about myself. When you're gonna date, if you're gonna choose to date now, you should come healed. In your last relationship, maybe you weren't the best communicator. That's something you should work on. Dating in your mid-30s hits different. When you've been through life, relationships, and growth, you date with a whole new level of awareness. Let's talk about it. Once you've dated, you've gone through life, you've been through a few relationships that have taught you lessons, hopefully, and you kind of get to a place where you kind of really know what you want and what you don't want, which I think is very important. I'm sure in between some of that is heartbreak, which is unfortunate, but I think it's a process and like a rites of passage we have to go through. So I myself have definitely been through it, and I can say for me at 35 for sure, things that I value are way different now. Things that I look for, red flags, all of that, is a lot different once you get into your 30s for sure. Even time and energy, I remember when I was younger, I think there was times where I definitely chased. And when you get to a point in my life where, not that everything is all good, there's still things I'm working on, I want to be better myself, but I'm in a good place generally, and I don't feel the need to chase. That's not even really in my repertoire at this point. I'm not chasing. If I like you and I want to court you, I'm gonna definitely do that, and I'm gonna make it known that I'm feeling you, and do what a man's supposed to do. But I won't chase you. I see it sometimes where I think certain women are just, I don't know if that's what they've always been accustomed to, or they think that's what's right. But yeah, I won't chase you. It shouldn't be a chase in the first place. If you want to get to know me, I want to get to know you. There's general interest, and we both put the time in. So yeah, a thing that I wasn't really as well as my 20s that I'm very good at noticing now is just recognizing patterns. People are generally who they are. People do grow, people can change, but when you meet someone, it's important to meet them where they are, so to speak. Looks is one thing, but if you see certain patterns, just know that that's probably how they've been operating in life. Whether that's with friends, past relationships, family, you got to know how to recognize those patterns, accept it for what it is, and keep on pushing, make the decision if that's something that you rock with, you don't rock with, and so forth. Self-awareness and growth, I can speak on my own past experiences. I've touched on, I think for the most part, most of my past relationships have been positive, but in each relationship, you learn something, you take away something. And I've learned, more importantly, about myself. There were times in the past when I realized I probably was a little selfish, where I was just so focused on myself, I wasn't putting enough time into my partner. And I feel that was just me. I think me still getting to know myself, getting to, just career-wise, things of that nature. But now for sure, that self-awareness is knowing if I'm going to get into something and be with someone, I have to know that, this person takes space in my life now because I want them to be there. And I have to, be active in ways that they need me, stuff like that. I would also say too, when it comes to self-awareness, this is a big thing too, and I'm huge on this. It's important to, when you're gonna date, if you're gonna choose to date now, you should come healed. Now again, I know a healing journey may take sometimes months, weeks, years, whatever the case may be, but if you're not healed or if you're going through a lot, I don't recommend seeking to try to bring someone into your life when you're still on yourself, just not on certain ground, so to speak. So for me, that's definitely something I look for when I'm meeting people. It's again, not that no one's perfect, and everyone who go through things, and people take different, handle different situations and stress and trauma differently. But I'm not looking to get in any situation with someone who's just fresh out of a relationship, who just had, you can tell, they've been through certain things, whether it's family, past relationships, career, and they're just, they shouldn't be probably dating. humans are, we like to be with others. Like we're I can't think of the word. We're social creatures, and that's something about us where you just, some people. I was like that myself, to be honest. Where for years, I think straight through my 20s and even before, I was always in a relationship, and they didn't take me until like my later 20s to realize, like, whoa, pump the brakes. And that little small time, that time that I finally had not in a relationship, I learned so much about myself. I learned also, again, what I didn't want, what I wanted, what I needed to be, to be for the person that I wanted. So it's definitely important to, work on yourself. If you know that in your last relationship, maybe you weren't the best communicator, that's something you should work on. For my fellas, maybe, you didn't plan enough. Maybe you just, let go of yourself. You didn't do these things. Like, these are things that you should start now. So when you do meet your person, you're coming from a place of, progress and doing better for yourself. So yeah, I've tried online dating. Trying, and it's pretty interesting. I can't say, I know women and men have like different experiences, but I would say some sites are better than others. Nobody's paying me for anything, so I won't dive into that. But when people they'll talk about like, oh, the dating pool is like pee or it's like terrible, I actually disagree, and I'll tell you why. People often say that, I realize, is because expectations are just off, and that's on both sides, from men and from women. There's a lot of men who are looking for a woman that they're really not qualified for. And what I mean by qualified for, like for instance, men are looking for a woman who a cook, clean, do all these things, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then again, on their end, they don't have much to offer. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, it doesn't have to be about money, but it's like, what do you bring to the table for yourself? Can you lead? Like, women want a man to lead. Too much to me, low value men are looking for high value women, and vice versa. There are a lot of low value women looking for high value men. And when I mean low value, I just mean that you don't have much to offer. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Doesn't mean that you don't matter and you shouldn't date or want better for yourself. But you also have to be realistic and realize, like, okay, what am I bringing to the table? And again, this has nothing to do with money. I don't even think that should even enter the equation. I feel like if you and two people are rocking, money does play a part. And I guess you should dating a tax bracket, so to speak. But, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? You have to really ask yourself that question. And another thing too is, where are you looking? If you're going to the same spots, meaning the same clubs, the same social settings, you are generally going to find the same type of woman. I know I experienced that, again, maybe like my mid-20s, where me and my cousin, who used to go out a lot, we had that same kind of like epiphany, so to speak, where it was like, yo, what's going on? Why we not meeting? And I realized, like, yo, we got to go to different places. So when we started branching out, going to different social settings, different clubs, everything like that, you would meet different women. Like, it's a huge place. So it may take you to get out your city, get out your town. You'll find, what you may be looking for. And if there's a certain profile of person you're looking for, man or woman, you need to go where you'll find those people. If you're looking for someone who's fit, someone who's into health, someone into fitness, the best place may be the gym and or activities that involve these things. You know what I mean? You're not gonna find these people, I don't know, in just in the opposite setting. Like attracts like in certain settings. So what's very interesting too, when it comes to like this online and just with social media too, I think like the paradox of like options. Yes, there's 8 billion people in the world. Depending where you're sitting in, it's gonna be a couple thousand, million, whatever the case may be. But I think social media has made people feel like, yo, there's a million options in the world. And that thing to me comes to me when you're talking to someone, instead of maybe focusing on that person and really, again, putting in the work that it takes to get to know someone and build a relationship, you're torn in different directions because, again, this paradox of options. Because you see so many women or men online, and I think that's kind of messing up people's perception of what dating is, to be honest. even for myself, I don't, not to say that I've experienced that, but I can see how it affects me. When you just see women all day, when you just see, all these things, it makes you, feel like, damn, I could just jump ship or, rock with someone else. But that's kind of not healthy. And again, more importantly, it ain't going away, but it's more important to recognize these things and to be like, okay, woo. There's not a lot of like great people out there, like, to be honest. So when you do find someone that, is worth getting to know, again, I won't say put your marbles all in one pot or whatever the case may be, but I think it's important too, if you are interested in someone, give them that attention, give them that focus on, and work on that. I'll touch on a little too, but because this is, when you date, everybody wants to know red flag, green flag. So I'll tell you some of my green flags. Someone who has good relationships, and that means like family, friends, co-worker, like someone who has good relationships generally is a decent communicator and stable. Someone who doesn't, on the opposite end, usually has a lot of chaos or just doesn't take accountability. So that's really important. So that's a green flag I look for, like stable relationships. But someone who's generally just seen also good relationships, positive relationships. Again, if you haven't seen positive relationships in your life, that can sometimes subconsciously make you feel like, well, all men are going to do this or all women are going to do this. So I think to have seen positive relationships in your life, whether that was your parents, that is a green flag for me, because again, you understand what it took and you've seen how a man should treat a woman, how a man should treat a woman, and vice versa. You see how a woman should treat a man. So positive relationships definitely something I look for. And I'll say, I guess one more for me, like specific to me, just even someone who's active. Someone who's active, and I'll touch on another one, someone who has like hobbies and or does things outside of work. I think in this day and age, too many people are just like, it's just like work, work at home or work and that's it. And to me, that's not a healthy balance of life. Life is to be lived, and you should have more going on just besides just a relationship. I don't want my relationship to be my identity, and it shouldn't be yours. It shouldn't be like you're just looking for me for your entertainment. I feel like it's very healthy when someone has hobbies, when they like to do things. They like to be with their friends, like to be with their family. Like, we should come together in our lives to join and make a nucleus. It shouldn't be like, my life becomes yours and vice versa. So those are some green flags that I definitely look for. I would say for sure, just to close this out because I don't want this video to be too long. At 35 and dating in my 30s, I'm not looking for someone to complete me. I'm looking for someone who's complete and whole, and together we come together and make something like beautiful. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm looking for. And yeah, I've met amazing women who, have their things together. I've met women, who got going on. I mean, so I won't say the dating pool speak, but definitely take your time. It's no rush. I don't feel like that pressure of being married or whatever is like important. I don't believe in also staying in situations that's not right. Like, again, life is to be lived, and finding the people that you rock with. So that's it for me. Tell me how it's been dating for you in your 30s. Maybe what are some lessons you learned? Is there anything in the video that you agree with, don't agree with? Drop it in the comment. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next one.